Hello everyone, this is Aadya and I welcome to you all on 3D Studies. So as already written that today we are going to see and put our eye on the interesting topic that is going to be as the rise of the nationalism in Europe. So before going to be started about this amazing term or the chapter, I would like to go back in class 9th. What we have learned in that? We have seen in history the chapter number 1 and we deal with the fact of the French revolutions. In that we have seen a lot about French revolution, how the revolution took place in the France. So after French revolution we know that French got republic and many other things. But the basic thing is that we need to know here the map is over here of the French that where the France is located. So basically in the Europe, as we know, if you are knowing that Europe is a country, stop thinking that Europe is not a country. Europe is a continent. Basically in the Europe, France is a country. In the Europe, France is a country. So when any of the country have republic, so the surrounding people of the France, you can see also over here, France is surrounding with many type of countries in the Europe. So basically जैसे कि France में कोई भी टाइप का, जैसे कि एक एग्जाम्पल ले सकते हैं लाइक हियर इज अ कॉन्टिनेंट, इसके अंदर बहुत सारे कंट्रीज हैं. आई कैन नेम देम एज ए बी सी डी एंड एफ. नाउ द बेसिक थिंग इज डैट अगर ए को स्वतंत्रता या फिर आई कैन सी डैट रिपब्लिक मिल जाती है तो क्या जो अगल बगल की कंट्री हैं जैसे कि बी है, सी है, डी एन ई एन एफ एंड एक्सेट्रा, सो दे ऑल्सो just stand up for their republic. Why? The reason of why is कि अगर फ्रेंच में जैसे कि एक कंट्री में एक रिपब्लिक हुआ तो वहाँ के जो आर्मी थे, वहाँ के जो चीज़ें जैसे कि वो रिपब्लिक हुए उनकी खुशी एंड डैश जितने भी इंटरनल सेंटिमेंट होते हैं वो थ्रू आउट द कंट्रीज फैले. अब वो जो थ्रू आउट द कंट्रीज फैले वो दूसरी यूरोपियन कंट्रीज के पास भी गए एंड बाय दैट व्हेन दे लिसन, द पीपल लिसन हु आर जस्ट सफरगेट, हु आर इन द very depression point of view, who are just feeling bad as they are in the just ruling of the monarchy system, so they feel कि फ्रांस अगर रिपब्लिक हो सकता है, our neighbor can republic, so why we cannot. so इस वजह से फ्रांस की जो रिपब्लिक है, फ्रांस जो हमारा स्वतंत्र हुआ उसके बाद हमारा यूरोप, as the chapter name says everything, कि चैप्टर नेम है आपका द राइज ऑफ द नेशनलिज्म इन यूरोप. तो यूरोप एक होल कॉन्टिनेंट में एक केवल फ्रांस नंबर ए में रिपब्लिक आने से पूरे के पूरे यूरोप में जितनी भी कंट्री हैं जो कि बिगेस्ट कंट्रीज हैं उनमें कैसे रिपब्लिक आ जाता है, वो कैसे नेशनलिज्म को फॉलो करने लगती हैं उनके अंदर, हाउ द राइज ऑफ द नेशनलिज्म सेंटिमेंट ग्रो अप, that thing will go to deal in this particular chapter. So let's get started. So guys, let's begin with the rise of the nationalism in Europe. So as chapter name says everything, तो हमें first of all we need to go back and see कि फ्रांस में जैसे कि changes आते रह रहे थे, France got republic. So after we need to focus upon the major changes that were adopted by the France after the France got republic. So we know and we may aware of the La Patrie and La Citoyenne. La Patrie stand for fatherland and La Citoyenne it stand for citizenship. So they emphasize the united community and the equal rights for the people. Then the second point goes through the French changes that was adopted by the France was that new flag was introduced. You know, if any of the country got republic or got independence from any of the system which in the underwater they were dealing. So after the French goes changed, so the first point we know La Patrie and La Citoyenne, they got emphasized and they created the united system of equal rights. Then second goes here the point as कि French introduced new flag, even though new flag name was a tricolor flag. ठीक है. Now the third point was that new national anthem was introduced, even though the oath-taking system was also held. Now we go more ahead. So the measuring system, unity was also had to be very done. And even though the basic thing about the French Revolution was that कि state general assembly जो कि नॉर्मल पीपल के यूज से होती थी, उसको रिनेम्ड कर दिया गया एज अ नेशनल असेंबली. So state general assembly was renamed, which was done under the people community, was renamed as the national assembly. So ये कुछ नेशनल और ये कुछ टाइप के चेंजेस हुए जो कि फ्रांस की रिपब्लिक के बाद इंट्रोड्यूस हुए. The basic thing which I was left and I was waiting for you all to write in the comment section was that कि अगर फ्रांस का न्यू फ्लैग अडॉप्ट किया गया है, फ्रांस में नेशनल एंथम इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया है, so what about the language? So as we are aware of this कि France became the language itself as a national point of view. Now when these all things were happening, the basic thing about the French Revolution is that French army. So the rise of the nationalism in Europe not across the France, the basic reason about the rise of the sentiment that goes throughout the country of the French Revolution was that कि जो France के army थे, alright, we need to understand the France army just when they feel that wow, we are getting the republic, whatever the feeling they have under them, so they have taken that sentiment, that good feelings abroad the countries. They have told to the another army that we have got republic from this bad monarchy system which we are gonna suffered and we are just very much depressed even though. So उस तरह के जो डिप्रेशन, उस तरह के जो सफोकेट वो हो रहे थे, तो उस तरह की जो चीज़ें उसमें हो रही थी, उनसे उन्हें रिपब्लिक मिली. तो रिपब्लिक मिलने के बाद उनके अंदर जो एक सेंटिमेंट जागा, किस चीज़ का? एक रिपब्लिक की खुशी होने का. उन्होंने उस सेंटिमेंट को थ्रू आउट द कंट्री फैलाया एंड दैट गेव द राइज टू द नेशनलिज्म फीलिंग अक्रॉस द कंट्री. तो एज वी नो कि ये सेंटिमेंट अक्रॉस द कंट्री फैल गए थे. वैसे ही एज वी नो कि जो फ्रांस की रिपब्लिक है उसका जो मेन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू था, जैसे कि हमें देखना चाहिए, वो स्टार्ट कि टू एबोलाइज द मोनार्की सिस्टम एंड टू जस्ट गिव द इम्फेस और टू स्टेबलाइज द डेमोक्रेसी. सो ये एक बेसिक स्लोगन भी आप कह सकते हैं या एक बेसिक थीम थी फ्रांस रेवोल्यूशन करने की. नाउ द बेसिक थिंग इज दैट बाय 1780 and 1799, 1799, the rise of the nationalism in Europe got arrived. As France may we know that Napoleon Bonaparte took place in 1799 in the France. So what he want? He just want to stop, to abolish democracy and to stabilize what? Stabilize the dictatorship. Now he also launched, what he launched? He launched the Civil Code 1804, which is also called Napoleon Code. So by this code, there were few good points, few bad points of the Napoleon Bonaparte as he was a ruler. So the good points about the Napoleon Bonaparte was about the civil code that he launched was that the first point that needs to be known by us very importantly, that he stopped the feudalism system. What is that? So he was saying that to abolish feudalism. Feudalism what mean? Feudalism that the right to property. Now the second thing which was a good point, that he stopped the बंधुआ मजदूरी. ठीक है, बंधुआ मजदूरी उसने स्टॉप कर दी थी. Then the third thing was that ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम और कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम उसने बहुत ही अच्छा कर दिया था. उन्होंने यूनिफॉर्म सिस्टम जो कि एक मेजरिंग सिस्टम है उसको भी प्रॉपर कर दिया था. इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ भी कर दिया था. बर्थ में जो प्रिविलेजेस दी जा रही थी उन्हें स्टॉप, एबोलाइश कर दिए गए थे. नाउ द बैड पॉइंट्स वर अबाउट द Napoleon Bonaparte was that about the civil code which he launched was that he done the censorship. What do you mean by censorship? Censorship का मतलब एक सिंपल तरीके से आप सोचना चाहें कि अगर उसकी जो इवन तो सिंपल नेपोलियन बोनापार्ट का समय था, उस समय उसकी सरकार चल रही थी सिंपल, द एम्पायर वाज ऑफ नेपोलियन बोनापार्ट. तो ही डोंट वांट कि अगर पेपर में कोई भी बैड न्यूज़, बैड आई मीन अगेंस्ट द नेपोलियन बोनापार्ट, कोई भी न्यूज़ अखबार में छपने को आती थी, सो ही जस्ट एबोलाइज देम. ही वॉन्ट्स कि कोई भी न्यूज़ अखबार में या फिर उसके सिटीजन तक जाने से पहले उसके अंडर में जाए. And whatever the good news about the Napoleon Bonaparte, that only needs to go through its citizenship, not the other, which were named as the bad one. So ये एक bad point था, क्योंकि when the citizens do not know that their king is only a good, when their citizen don't know कि their king is doing good or bad, how the citizen can influence more, how can the citizen can bring the changes throughout the country, simple. So that the bad point about the Napoleon Bonaparte was there. Now the more point that he did was voting right to women. He cancelled the voting right to women, and also he does not give the woman to ride in the poverty. ठीक है, प्रॉपर्टी में भी उसने वुमन को राइट नहीं दी थी. Then he forced the basic point about, or the bad point about the Napoleon Bonaparte about the civil code was that he forced the people to join the army. He said, please join the army. So this was all for the today, as we have discussed a lot about it, how the introduction about the rise of the nationalism in Europe started and how these things happened. So we know about the Napoleon Bonaparte, we have discussed a lot. Now I'll be back and telling you about the making of the nationalism in Europe. ठीक है, अब यूरोप में जो नेशनलिज्म की एक फीलिंग थी वो कैसे कैसे बढ़ना शुरू हुई, कहाँ से उसकी चिंगारी जो होती क्लैश कह सकते हैं स्टार्टअप हुआ, and we'll discuss this thing in the next video. Till that, take care and be happy. Bye bye.